It is one of the longest, loudest arguments in modern history. A fight that outlived revolutions, toppled empires, bankrupted superpowers, and split the world in half. For over a century, capitalism versus socialism wasn't just an economic debate. These were battle lines. But here is the part no ideology influencer ever mentions. Neither system worked the way the textbooks promised. Not once. Not anywhere. And when the pressure hit war, famine, inflation, the truth showed itself with brutal clarity. Welcome to the Chronology of Wealth. Today, we aren't looking at the theory. We are looking at the scars. The story begins long before anyone uttered the words capitalism or socialism. For most of human history, the economy was just survival. It was a zero-sum game. If someone rose, someone else fell. Progress was slower than glaciers. Then, the Industrial Revolution blew the world open. Suddenly, we had a pressure cooker of coal, iron, and ambition. For the first time, private individuals could generate wealth at a scale previously reserved for kings. Productivity exploded, but so did misery. Pollution choked the cities. Children worked 12-hour shifts. This was the moment socialism was born. Not as a utopian dream, but as a desperate reaction to industrial brutality. Marx and Engels looked at the factory floors stained with sweat and blood and argued that the system itself was the crime. They proposed a world where production served human needs, not private gain. It sounded clean. It sounded moral. 2 millions. It sounded like justice. But theory is one thing. Real life is another. The first time the world seriously attempted socialism on a national scale, it wasn't in a classroom. It was in the ashes of the Russian Empire. The Soviets built a new operating system, state ownership of everything. In theory, it should have created perfect efficiency. In practice, it created chaos. Without market prices, planners didn't know what to produce. Shortages became culture. Agriculture collapsed into famine. Yet, socialism remained seductive. Why? Because capitalism wasn't exactly looking good either. By 1929, the capitalist dream detonated. The Great Depression wasn't just a recession. It was a global economic heart attack. Banks collapsed. Unemployment hit 25%. For millions, capitalism looked fatal. So by the 1930s, the world faced an uncomfortable truth. Neither system worked as advertised. Socialism promised equality but delivered scarcity. Capitalism promised prosperity but delivered collapse. From 1945 to 1991, the world became a laboratory. On one side, the Soviet bloc. On the other, the United States and its allies. And the results were dramatic. The Soviet system cracked. Without price signals, the economy drifted into absurd inefficiency. A country that could build rockets couldn't produce decent refrigerators. Capitalism, meanwhile, did something smart. It adapted. It introduced regulations, safety nets, and antitrust laws. It didn't become fair, but it became survivable. And that adaptability became its ultimate weapon. The Cold War wasn't won by ideology. It was won by performance. The Soviet Union wasn't defeated by bombs. It was defeated by empty shells. But the victory lap didn't last long. By the 2000s, capitalism mutated again. Finance exploded. Inequality soared to levels not seen since the Gilded Age. The 2008 crash was a reminder that the instability never really disappeared. It just changed clothes. And now, look around. The truth is almost embarrassing in its simplicity. Every major economy today is a hybrid. Look at Scandinavia. High taxes and strong unions, but powered by free markets and global corporations. Look at China. They call it socialism, but it's state-directed capitalism. Look at the United States, a capitalist powerhouse that relies heavily on public spending and regulation. We don't have pure systems, because pure systems die when they meet human nature. Under pure capitalism, greed becomes exploitation. Under pure socialism, unity becomes repression. The uncomfortable lesson of history is this: economic systems don't shape people nearly as much as people shape economic systems. The real question isn't which system is better. It's which system has the mechanisms to restrain power. History didn't choose capitalism or socialism. History chose whatever prevented collapse. And the real fight was never about the ideology. It was about who controls the levers inside the machine. The capital, the state, the banks, the party. The fight is always over the same thing: power. And power, as history shows again and again, doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. If you want to understand the true history of money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the Chronology of Wealth. See you in the next one.